Do you really want me to believe that? On top of that, a young black man in Mississippi decided to self-delete himself on a tree. Knowing our history, you mean to tell me that we're supposed to expect, that we're supposed to believe what the cops say? Oh, there's no foul play involved? No foul play? How many times has this happened where we are brutalized and this happens to us throughout the entirety of this country? Lynchings did not go up until after slavery. And now, in 2025, we have a possible lynching once again. Throughout the history of this country, we have a trend. We have a normalization of lynching, particularly Black people in this country. And this is really to keep the Black community in line. It is terrorism. It is totalitarian. It is fascistic. And it keeps happening. And as of late, it has been happening here in the year of our Lord 2025. But now we have a lot of authorities saying it was self-inflicted. And I question a lot of this. For instance, what happened to Dolores Richardson, what happened to, I'm blanking on his name, I think it's Earl Robinson, I think it is, in New York. A whole host of people that have been murdered through hanging either from a porch or a tree in our country this year alone. And so this is no different. And this recently happened in Mississippi. And so I want to get into this story because I'm tired. Being Black in America is exhausting. And I'm tired of seeing these stories. But how many people are going to talk about it from the perspective of those of us who see this system as being designed this way? It's not broken. It's not an aberration. This is a feature, not a bug. So let's get into the story here. So we have Delta State University student's body found hanging in tree. No foul play suspected. This came out yesterday. So it says Delta State University staff found the body of Demartravion Trey Reed, a 21-year-old student, hanging from a tree in the middle of campus on Monday morning. His death set off a wave of mourning across the university and prompted the cancellation of centennial events for the 100-year-old institution. Delta State University police held a press event Monday afternoon, announcing that no foul play is currently suspected in Reed's death and no threat to campus exists. Says approximately at 7:05 a.m., University Police was notified of what appeared to be a body of a Black male hanging from a tree at Central Campus near the DSU pickleball course. Says we later identified the male subject to be Demartravion Reed of Grenada, Mississippi. So we're going to go into this video here, and they pick up a little bit more detail, and we'll get into that as well, because this is a harrowing story that we need to talk about.
Tonight at 6, the tragic death of a student at Delta State University. The body of a freshman at the university located in Cleveland, Mississippi, was found sadly hanging from a tree on campus early this morning. Disturbing for all of those on campus. Officials with the university say there is no evidence of foul play. WRG's Mike Sirianni has more from the Delta State campus.
Earlier today, Delta State staff discovered a deceased individual on campus. University police and local authorities were immediately notified and are conducting an active investigation.
During a Monday afternoon press conference on the campus of Delta State University, it was announced the body of 21-year-old Demartravion Trey Reed of Grenada, a freshman at DSU, was found hanging from a tree near the pickleball courts not far from the campus cafeteria.
I've spoken to Trey's family and expressed our heartbreak.
The discovery was made just after 7 a.m. Classes, as well as several events associated with the university's centennial, were canceled.
At this time, there's no evidence of foul play.
A joint investigation is being conducted by DSU Police, the Cleveland PD, Bolivar County Sheriff's Department, and the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. University officials stress their belief the Delta State campus is one of the safest in Mississippi.
There is no evidence of a threat to campus, and there's no evidence that the campus is unsafe at this point. So I expect we will resume normal operations as soon as possible.
Monday, I spoke with Trey Reed's mother. She did not want to go on camera, but told me she has so many questions about what happened. She said she just talked to her son Friday that he was excited about attending Delta State University as a freshman. She can't find any reason for this tragedy. For your news leader in Cleveland, Mississippi, Mike Sirianni, WREG News Channel 3.
Heartbreaking.
So here's my question. Why would a student who's just about to start college feel the need to take his own life, if that was the case? Embarking on a new experience, embarking on a new journey. And you mean to tell me that he personally ended that journey himself? Do you really want me to believe that? On top of that, a young black man in Mississippi decided to self-delete himself on a tree? Knowing our history, you mean to tell me that we're supposed to expect, that we're supposed to believe what the cops say? Oh, there's no foul play involved? No foul play? How many times has this happened where we are brutalized and this happens to us throughout the entirety of this country? Lynchings did not go up until after slavery. And now, in 2025, we have a possible lynching once again. And this was in the middle of college campus. in the middle of a college campus in Mississippi, in the Deep South, with the history of lynchings and chattel slavery, and you mean to tell me that that young man self-deleted himself in the way that white supremacists deleted our ancestors? He just decided to do that himself? I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm still surprised that some of them think that we're that stupid. "21 years old? Let's get into the rest of this as well. All right. So, excuse me. So it says Bolivar County Deputy Coroner Murray Roque told the Mississippi Free Press on a September 15th interview that he assisted his colleague, Deputy Coroner Dwayne Proctor, in examining Reed's body, contrary to rumors on social media. Roque said he saw no evidence of broken arms or legs. He says, "I saw no broken limbs," he said. Roque declined to elaborate further, stating that the case was still under investigation. "I don't think I should probably discuss this any further than that. My opinion is that it was self-done, and I have reasons for that." What are the reasons? Peeler said that the investigation into Reed's death is ongoing and had no further comment on the details of Reed's passing, pending the release of a full autopsy. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is assisting the investigation. One of the things that if I were in front of Demartravion Reed's family, one of the things that I would advise for him to do, for his family to do, would be to hire their own personal medical examiner and have the medical examination done by a second party. Why do I say that? Because when we talk about the connection between police, district attorneys, attorney generals, judges, prosecutors, we also got to talk about the coroners, the medical examiners. We got to talk about them too. Because sometimes something may be found, but some people may want to keep that under wraps. I'm just saying, I think that should also be done. Because when you have a system of white supremacy, a system, wouldn't that include people who are the medical examiners and the coroners as well? Maintaining certain institutions would be involved in all facets of our local, state, and federal governments. I'm just saying, my best recommendation is to hire your own. Just to see. And they say there's no broken limbs. Okay, then I want to see a toxicology report. Because maybe, just maybe, there was no fight because he was knocked out. How was he knocked out? We don't know. Was he given something to drink? Was he injected with something? Was he inhaling something? Did somebody, because if he knocked out, he should have knocked out in his dorm. He should be waking up. Or if he did die, he should have died in his dorm. But he was hanging from a tree. So therefore, either he put himself there or somebody put him there. But there's no broken bones, there's no limbs. If there's no evidence that a struggle took place, then what should happen is they should make sure that there's a toxicology report done to see if he was sedated in any way in order for that to happen. Editing JB here, I have an update to share with you. As I was editing this video, it is important to find out that Trey Reed's family is actually doing exactly what I recommended. Let's go here just so that you guys can see exactly what is what. So let's take a look at this portion right now. So as we can see here, it says Trey Reed's family calls for an independent autopsy after he was found hanging in a tree. Police say video exists. So let's take a look at this. It says the family of Demartravion Trey Reed is seeking for an independent autopsy following the Delta State University student's death on Monday, when his body was hanging from a tree on campus at a press event at Living Faith Miracle Temple Church of God in Christ in Grenada late Tuesday afternoon. Vanessa J. Jones of the Jones Law Firm, who is representing the Reed family, told the media that the family is still waiting for answers. The family does not know exactly what happened on September 15, 2025. We are seeking answers from Delta State University. We are seeking answers from the coroner's office. Delta State University staff discovered Reed's body hanging from the tree at 7:05 on Monday, September 15th, in the middle of campus, where the 21-year-old had just begun attending college. Hours after his discovery, Delta State University Police Chief Mike Peeler said in a conference that no foul play was currently suspected, as we just said. The same day, two officials from the Bolivar County Coroner's Office said that Trey Reed had no other visible injuries that would indicate an attack prior to his hanging. It says the media knew before the family did. Vanessa Jones cited Delta State University and Bolivar County officials telling the Mississippi Free Press that both had left the Reed family completely in the dark after the discovery of Trey Reed's body, failing to properly communicate with them in their darkest moment. The media knew about Trey's death before the family did. This here, just to let you guys know, is completely egregious because Trey Reed is supposed to, his passing was supposed to have been communicated to the family first. Imagine looking at the news and finding out that your family member passed. That is horrible. And that was the duty upon the police, the authorities, to be able to tell the family first before anybody else knew. And this is a major blunder for the police. Let's continue on here. It says that's one of the reasons for the urgency of this press conference, because the family is getting all their information secondhand through the news. And a confusing incident occurred on the morning of Trey's death. The Grenada County Sheriff's Department arrived at Trey's family's home at approximately 9:15 and informed the family that Trey was found dead in his dorm room in his bed. This is the point that I want to convey to everybody. The police lied. They lied to the family, saying that he was found in his room dead on his bed, when instead he was hanging from a tree, essentially lynched. Why would the police hide that fact from the family? In Mississippi? Let's continue on in the article. It says not long after, the family would learn that Trey had died in the center of campus hanging from a tree. The day after this story was published, the Grenada County Sheriff's Department Chief Deputy Ricky Williamson told the Mississippi Free Press in an interview that neither he nor his investigator, Sonja Willis, specified where he had been found and when they informed the family of Trey Reed's death on Monday. Grenada, his childhood hometown, is located roughly an hour east of Cleveland, where he was studying at Delta State University. That was never the words that were said they were notified of his death. Absolutely not. The conversation was that me and my investigator were there to the grandparents of Trey Reed, had set them down on the porch, and we told them that he had been sent to notify that Trey Reed had been found deceased in the Delta State University and that the DSU police chief was on the scene. Quote, I said, and I don't recall the exact wording, but that they don't believe it had been done by anyone else. I handed them the note with the chief's name and phone number and asked we could pray with him. We prayed, and as we were leaving, the grandmother asked, was he down on the floor? Was he by his bed? I said, ma'am, I don't know. And that's when we walked away. Now, it says the family needs clarity on the moments leading up to Trey's death. It says if this young man was on the campus of Delta State University with all these cameras and all this modern technology, from the moment he left his dorm room and entered the campus, there should have been surveillance of all his actions. That's what we want. Bring the surveillance, bring the cameras so that we'll know exactly what happened. Jones did not allege that Reed's death had been violent, but demanded a full and independent investigation. We're not here to point fingers yet, but we will have answers. The possible constitutional violations of releasing Trey's names to the media immediately after it happened, we'll get to that. But for now, the family is asking for answers. Speaking at the same event, Pastor Jerry Reed, Trey's uncle, told the media that his nephew had been a happy young man, filled with purpose and excited for a new chapter at Delta State University. When I talked to him, he always told me that he had a plan for his life and many things he wanted. He wanted to go to college. He wanted to be a truck driver because that's what I was for nearly 30 years, and that's what he wanted to be. The civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, who also joined the Reed family in seeking full independent investigation in the death of Reed. Trey Reed was a young man full of promise and warmth, deeply loved and respected by all who known him. So they actually got Ben Crump as an attorney as well. And so this is ongoing. Let's get here. It says Trey Reed's death sets off alarms across social media, with countless concerned observers fearing Reed's death was intentional, a painful echo of many lynchings of Black men in Mississippi's past. One persistent rumor falsely asserted is that Trey's limbs had been broken, rendering self-harm impossible. There's Trey Reed. Monday afternoon, the Mississippi Free Press spoke to Bolivar County Deputy Coroner Murray Rourke, who said he assisted a colleague, Deputy Coroner Dwayne Proctor, in the examination of Reed's body. So, of course, we went over that earlier. Based on the preliminary examination, we can confirm deceased did not suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with assault. So they basically said that there's no evidence saying that he was physically attacked before his passing. And then there was a body of a homeless man that was also found hanging from a tree. So video exists of Trey Reed. Says at Tuesday's press conference, Vanessa Jones alleged that the university leadership had yet to call even the Reed family, contradicting statements from DSU President Dr. Dan Ennis. They said they were there for the family, but they haven't even contacted the family. This is what we call a false narrative. The president of Delta State University has not taken 30 seconds and called Trey's family. Ennis acknowledged that in a press conference on Wednesday morning, explaining that he was bound by protocol to communicate with the individuals Trey Reed himself listed as next of kin rather than immediate family relations. The student tells us they're next of kin, and from that moment we discovered him. The university has been in regular, frequent contact with next of kin. Trey Reed gave us two names, From the point of view of respecting the students' wishes, the university has been and will continue to be in direct contact with Trey's chosen names. So basically, the preliminary results from the medical examiner will be back in 24 to 48 hours. And so, says the campus police chief said that video of Trey Reed does exist, but declined to specify if this meant surveillance video showing his death before he was found hanging in the tree. There are videos, and they are in the hands of an investigative team. Right now, Cleveland Police Department is leading the investigation. So this really is a harrowing story that continues to develop. And I told you guys I would have more information as soon as I found it. But thank you very much. And keep your eyes on this story, because I do not trust what is being, the narrative that's being pushed. I hope that we find out more information from an independent medical examiner that's hired by the Reed family in the next coming days. So thank you very much, and back to the video. Because I find it deeply hard to believe that a black man, a young black man in Mississippi in the deep South, took it upon himself to hang himself by a tree in the middle of a college campus. Now, you can say that if he self-deleted, you know, there's other different ways he could have did it. And yeah, there's other ways he could have did it. Other ways. But why that particular way that's so famously known among us? And the crazy part about it is that wasn't the only hanging by a tree that happened that same day. I just found out about this about an hour before I went live. So I want to get into this too, because this is crazy. This stuff is happening everywhere. So let me get into this. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. There was a second gentleman that was found hanging from a tree. Let me see. I had it. Let me see. Let me see. I apologize, guys. I thought I had it up already. Let me make sure I get this. Oh, here it is. Okay. Corey Zacchaeus. There was a young man by the name of Corey Zacchaeus that was found hanging from a tree as well. I could have swore I had it up already, but either way, I got it again. So let's go here. So this happened the same day. Homeless man found hanging from a tree in Vicksburg, raising fears after DSU hanging. So this happened again, this time to a 35-year-old Corey Zucaitis was found hanging from a tree in a wooded area of Washington Street in Vicksburg, Mississippi on Monday afternoon. Zucaitis was from Brandon, Mississippi. It was a white male in a wooded area where people who live there are homeless and are or on drugs. So it says he is homeless. I talked to his family. The coroner said he would not speculate about whether foul play was involved or the death was self-harm. I got to be careful what I say. We don't ever say that word or anything until the autopsy is over with. Right now, it's just an investigation. In a statement on Tuesday afternoon, Vicksburg Police Chief Larry Burns confirmed that Zucaitis was found around 1:30 p.m. on a Monday in a wooded area near the Ameristar Casino, but did not say where the police suspect foul play. Interesting how we have somebody that appears to be not black, that they're like, we don't know if it's not foul play. But with the other gentleman, yeah, there's no foul play. It says the matter is currently being handled as a death investigation, and officers are actively investigating the circumstances. The victim's family have been notified. As with any ongoing investigation, details are limited at this time. Once additional information becomes available and can be released to the public, the Vicksburg Police Department will provide an update. Burns expresses sympathy to Zucaitis' family and that he and the rest of his department appreciate the community's cooperation to this investigation continues. Misidentified photos circulate on social media. No photos of Corey Zucaitis have been released to the public so far. Social media users have posted photos of Gadden Fortenberry, a 17-year-old gun violence victim who died last month in Jefferson Davis County, incorrectly that identify him as Zucaitis. Let me see. Okay, so they're saying that is Galvin Fortenberry. So people are saying that he was black, but he is actually white. So, okay. It says another photo that the Economic Times and Yahoo published appears to come from a Facebook page of a Florida man named Corey Zucaitis. But Husky told the Mississippi Free Press on Tuesday afternoon that the man in those photos is not the same Corey Zucaitis who died in Mississippi on Monday. So we have to be very careful about who we circulate the pictures of, because some people have, the same name. Like, for instance, I literally share the same name with a famous music producer. And so some people honestly think that I am that music producer named James Fauntleroy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. There's two of us. So yeah, I totally get that. Says Zucaitis' body was found mere hours after a student hanging from a tree around 100 miles away in Delta State University, who we just talked about, in Cleveland, Mississippi. But despite the rampant social media speculation, police in Vicksburg said the two deaths are not related. The student who died at the DSU campus was Demartravion Trey Reed, a black man. Campus told police, told the Mississippi Free Press on Monday that they do not currently suspect foul play. A Bolivar County deputy coroner also refuted rumors on social media that Reed has suffered broken arms or legs. Okay, so we just talked about that. Rumors have spread online since the two deaths, owing in part to the charged political climate since the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah, as well as Mississippi's history of lynching targeting black men. Some viral social media posts have incorrectly described both men as black. But so far, neither officials in Warren County nor Bolivar County have publicly raised the possibility that either death could have been murder. I don't think we should probably discuss this any further than that. My opinion is that it was self-done. I have reasons for that, so we covered that as well. So this is eerie. The fact that you have literally two men that were found hanging from trees. Now, I'll be honest with you. People do foul things to homeless people. People do some foul shit. So I'm waiting to see if that's foul play. I'm beginning to think that that might not be foul play either. But for Trey Reed, Demartravion, I'm thinking, no, that's definitely not foul play. I am deeply skeptical about that one. But it's just like I was skeptical about Denora Richardson. You know what I mean? It's all these people that were murdered. And so I think it's important that, we talk about this, right? I talked about Denora Richardson. I talked about Earl Smith in Albany. And so these men are found hanging from trees that were black. And of course, you expect me to be skeptical, knowing the country's history. And they are not ignorant of the country's history either. So I'm going to follow this story, see where it goes. But this history has a very violent and white supremacist origin, beginning, and it continues down to this day. And in order for us to really cleanse this nation of the white supremacy as well as the exploitation, the system has to be dismantled and a new system has to be built in its place, one that is pro-human. Because we do not want another Trey Reed. We do not want another homeless man that's found hanging from a tree. We don't want people to go through this. Whether it was foul play or whether it was self-harm, it should have never happened in the first place. And we have to change the situation. We have to change this country in order to make sure that we don't ever have to endure this again. For Black people, we're still trying to get to our point where we can say, never again. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate it from the top and bottom of my heart. If you'd like to see any more, you can look here. 1.